Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
Hey, what's happening, family? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friends, on today's conversation, we got a lot to discuss. For one, I don't know if you heard about the world's strongest woman controversy, the contest, which is, again, it's in the name. It crowns the world's strongest woman in the world, was under fire because the initial winner, the name is Jamie Booker, was crowned the world's strongest woman, but they end up finding out that Booker was born a male, and that right there was an instant disqualification. So the runner-up's name is Andrea Thompson. She had been crowned the world's strongest woman, which I'll play you guys a clip later on the show, where you can see a video. You can see the frustration in the runner-up before this controversy had come out, and which to me says that, you know, the runner-up knew that Jamie Booker was not a born female. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to have that conversation, which is it's a controversial conversation going across the feed, where should transgender athletes play in say other in how now I'm getting my words wrong. Should transgender females be allowed to play in born female sports, in women's sports? Likewise, the other way around. Should it be allowed? We'll talk about it. Also, how do you feel when you hear your elected officials or local elected officials should receive a pay increase or a raise? What goes in your mind? What's your first initial thought, right? Are you happy? Are you like, hell to the no? My taxes is increasing. They don't need no raises. They need to feel the burden just like us. They don't need no more money. What's your thoughts? We'll talk about it. Also, former NBA star Rick Fox announces his plans to run for office. We'll talk about that and more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to chop it in with yours truly here. For those who are watching us right now on our YouTube channel, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. I truly appreciate it. We want to continue to grow those subscriber numbers, as well as our viewerships, which we see growth each and every day, which I want to thank you all for your continuous support. For those who probably watch me right now, yes, I am very much in my vacation gear, because yes, I am currently on a vacay in, you won't believe it, Florida. Yes, I am in the red sunny state of Florida right now, enjoying some great weather. I am relaxing, but I do enjoy taking the time to talk with you all. So it's almost like I have no days off, right? But I do. I'm grateful to have a wife that's very supportive, and a fur baby that's also very supportive. He's playing around as we speak right now with his toys, looking at me like, "Dad, hello, you want to hurry this up? Chill, man, chill. I'm gonna play with you." But but yes, do me a favor, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Arrington Gavin Show. In addition to that, you can also watch past episodes of The Arrington Gavin Show on Goatverse TV. That's right, Goatverse TV. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, please do so. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. Next, you can also listen to us on the go. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. And then lastly, you can also listen to us on the radio airwaves. Shout out to our fam out there in the New Orleans area. Listen to us right now by way of WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's only on WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. Then we're going to head over to the Houston area by way of Afro Vibes Radio. That's right. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Mondays, 12 p.m. Central Time, and that's only on Afro Vibes Radio. And then lastly, we're going to head over to the Metro Atlanta area to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, that's only on WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. And then lastly, as I mentioned, you can check us out on the on our YouTube as well as podcasts. We drop episodes at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure, weeknights, by the way, weeknights, Monday through Friday. So be sure to check us out on that. Look, my friends, we have a lot to discuss. We have so much stuff. So we really don't have a special segment we're going to go over because I really want to enjoy, speak more on just these topics and stories I want to come across your guys. I want to bring up the conversation of pay raises, right? I think this is a big deal. Pay raises. Also, should folks who I guess consider themselves former MAGA supporters, ex-MAGA supporters, should they be forgiven? Now, again, I said former MAGA supporters, not former Republicans, because I've said it time and time again. There is a difference between the Republican Party and the MAGA movement. They are two different individuals. Now, you can say, hey, look, Trump's first term, I voted for him. Okay, cool. It's not an issue. Second term, or second go around, you're like, wasn't a fan of the first term. I'm most likely either going to vote third party or I possibly might even vote for the Democratic candidate. Okay, you made your choice. Now, there's folks that have supported him since day one and has voted for him time and time again. That's who I consider MAGA supporters and really just Trump supporters. I bring up the argument because a comedian, radio host, a legendary comedian, D.L. Hughley, who is he's extremely liberal. I wouldn't consider him an extremist per se, but I will say he is very liberal. I'm a huge fan of D.L. Hughley, by the way, and you're talking to an independent. I'm a huge fan of D.L. Hughley. I think he's hilarious. I think he does bring up great arguments and speaks facts. Sometimes I think he's overly supporting his party by all means, which to me I think is kind of unfair. And not really unfair, but it's just not the way to. I don't think that helps the division, if that makes sense, right? Americans, we all want the fairness and the balance. We don't want the party politics, right? We want the God honest truth between right and wrong. We don't want you supporting your candidate or being hypocritical. So if you call out somebody in a scandal on the opposing side and then the same crap happens to your candidate and it's crickets and you're not saying anything and being so support, no, like spare me, right? So he was on TMZ and he shared why ex-MAGA folks should never be forgiven. Harsh, right? Yeah, very harsh. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that and so much more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break. But please don't go anywhere. Do not go anywhere. Don't change that dial. Stay with us if you're listening to us right now by way of podcast. Keep us rolling. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up. Yeah, this that new Goat Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of the app he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Hey, Dad, want to go for a walk?
Well, that'll help me get my steps in for the day. Gotta stay healthy and strong.
Bet you're healthier than me.
I'd like to keep it that way. Doc says I need to walk 10,000 steps a day. How long is that?
Don't know. How about you tell me a story instead of counting steps?
I could tell you about the house my father and uncle built for us.
That's a couple of thousand steps right there.
Staying connected keeps you going strong. Learn ways to stay happy, active, and independent at cdc.gov/stillgoingstrong.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. As I mentioned earlier, the very first conversation we're going to talk about is the world's strongest woman controversy, right? That we've all heard. Let me go ahead and share you this video clip. You probably will be listening to, you can hear it from those who are watching us. I mean, excuse me, listen to us right now. But for those who are watching us, here's just a little clip of just the body language between the two, the initial winner and the runner-up. So let me go ahead and play that for you real quick. That was a really quick just like takeaway, like, oh, looked at her and then she bounced. She looked at her and then she bounced. But you know why? Because the runner-up, Andrea Thompson, she was extremely PO'd, as she should have, right? As she should have, because she knew that it was an unfair advantage between the two, because the initial winner, Jamie Booker, was not a born female. And this brings a lot of controversy, right? This kind of brings back the story of the collegiate swimmer Leah Thomas, which then went on to grow the career of a conservative host, commentator, women's rights activist Riley Gaines. Leah Thomas was a transgender swimmer who was allowed to compete against other females in college sports. Now, the unfair thing was that Leah Thomas she started her collegiate career as a male. Started her collegiate career as a male, then went and didn't quite succeed, but transitioned and was allowed to compete against females, and all of a sudden dominating the league. Now, I'm being respectful by calling Leah Thomas her because that's what she wants to be addressed as. Remember, I'm extremely respectful when it comes to the LGBTQ community. I'm all for same-sex marriage. I'm all for if you want to have the right to transition and live your life as a female, you were born a male. Hey, you have the freedom to do that. But what I will speak to is the conversation of a transgender female competing in women's sports. Likewise, a transgender male competing in men's sports. I look at that as extremely unfair and not a balanced league at all. At all. Now, I guess the question will be: should there be a league of transgender should there be a league of just transgender athletes? That has not really been spoken about in the public. I'm just asking a question here, because especially when it comes to when it comes to we have women's boxing, we have women's basketball, we have tons of women's sports. The strongest, women's strongest the world's strongest women competition. It's unfair for a born male to compete against born females in a league of strength. I'm sorry, it's just unfair. So let me go ahead and read you this article. This is reported by Fox News. It says here that world's strongest woman competitor speaks out after winning title following trans controversy. Now, Andrea Thompson was awarded the world's strongest woman title after, as I mentioned, the original person who had won, Jamie Booker. But allegations that Booker was born male has since surfaced, highlighted what appears to be a YouTube video of Booker claiming to be trans. Thompson celebrated the win on social media, but called it the most exhausting experience of her career. I quote, she says, "What should be a monumentous occasion has sadly been overshadowed by scandal and dishonesty from someone who was welcomed into a crazy sport. A sport which encourages women to celebrate themselves without being judged on how society says they should be. I am not only frustrated with I'm not only frustrated with not being able to celebrate a win, but also for the ladies who had their time to shine on the podium or reach the final day taken away from them. I am grateful to the team for reaching out to me, investigating and rectifying the situation so quickly, honoring the title to me, which is something we just don't see in any other sport that has faced a similar position." Okay, so she's bringing back the collegiate sports story. This means that we as a community are taking a stand, protecting women's sports as we have fought so hard. I cannot say it won't ever happen again. I am confident that we will work something out to prevent it in the future. Let me pause right there. My follow-up question, not to Andrea Thompson, but to the league. How did Jamie Booker? How was she even allowed to compete? What are the rules? How was she allowed to compete in this competition? That's the that's the one of the biggest questions there. It's like, wait, how was she even allowed to compete? What I'm doing right now is trying to see if I can pull up some of the rules of admission, how to enter into the competition. Okay, let me see here. Let me see if I will get something. But while I'm finding that, says here another quote. For now, ladies keep showing up, take up space, be loud, be proud, show your daughters how amazing you are. Much love. Thompson also called for backlash against her fellow competitors for just being a woman to stop. And now, according to the Strongman Archives, Booker had not competed in women's events prior to this past June. It is unclear whether Booker had previously competed as a man. Strongman announced Booker's disqualification on Tuesday. Okay, excuse me. Recently, admitting it was unaware of the allegations that Booker was born a male. Okay, they were unaware. Okay, they were unaware, but they got to do better. And I'm pretty sure whoever is the chair or whoever's in leadership, this is gonna cause them to possibly lose their position because at the end of the day, I mean, come on, this should not have occurred. I'm busy. While I'm talking to y'all, I'm also looking at my dog, making sure that he is behaving. Okay. Let me see if anything came up for my let's see here. Nothing really. Yeah, nothing really verifies if it's asked about gender that I have pulled up here. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I see ages, I see weight classes, I see a fee that they have to pay for. It shows obviously the competitions that they have to do, invitation organizer, registration fees. Yeah, I really don't see anything with that. So I guess again they're gonna have to make some changes come very soon. It says here, had we now this is from the who's making this statement here? Okay, an official from the strongman competition said, had we been aware or had been declared at any point before or during the competition, this athlete would not have been permitted to compete in the women's open category. We are clear competitors can only compete in their category for the biological sex recorded at birth. So that right there is from an official from the strongman competition, from the organization. Official Strongman is inclusive and proud to run events which do not discriminate against athletes based on personal characteristics. Any athlete is welcome, but it is our responsibility to ensure fairness and ensure athletes are assigned to men or women's categories based on whether they are recorded as male or female at birth. So right then and there, where did the mistake happen? Where did the mess up occur? How did this contender, this athlete, was allowed to compete? That's the big question here. That's the big question. Everybody's curious. How the hell was this individual allowed to compete? If they said the folks entered into this race has to be biologically born female. How did that happen? We will never know. We will never know. Well, look, I want to congratulate Miss Thompson on her very well deserved win. I don't know if you ever watched those strongman competitions. I've never really watched the females compete. I've always watched the males. But I mean the females does the exact same events as the males do. When I tell you, these are folks you don't want to F with. These are folks you don't. I mean, powerlifting, deadlift, farmers carries, squats, you name it. Picking up boulders, for crying out loud. Like, I mean, it is insane on the competitions that they have to do and events. So I just want to again congratulate Miss Thompson on that win. And again, this will be a conversation that will forever continue to bring up. I'm extremely curious of I'm curious of how the future will hold, what the future will hold for sports, for women's sports, men's sports. Is the rules going to really make sure they are? I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be that hard. And I don't mean that in an offensive way, but it should not be that hard. I guess too, what I'm going to ask is, in the next 5 years, 10 years, will there be a transgender league? Whether it's basketball, any sports, right? I'm just curious. I'm extremely curious. But let me go ahead and digress from that story and move it on to another story here. So hold tight. Former NBA star turned actor Rick Fox has announced that he is going to be running for public office. Yep, that Rick Fox, former Laker Rick Fox. As I mentioned, actor. I've always seen Rick. It's funny, when I first heard of Rick Fox, I didn't know he was a NBA star. I thought he was always an actor. As I mentioned, former Laker, just like John Sally. A lot of folks probably just know John Sally as being an actor, right? He starred in Bad Boys. He's been in other films. But he is also like a four-time NBA. No, I'm sorry. Look, like two-time. Well, he's a former NBA champ. There you go. He's won more than one championship. I know that in the NBA, and so he's a successful actor, just like Rick Fox, as well as a successful NBA star. So let me go ahead and share you this image for those to put a picture to a face. Yeah, Rick Fox. He was on Dance with the Stars, ex-husband of actress Vanessa Williams. The list goes on and on. But it says here, Rick Fox is stepping into a new arena. He has announced that he will run for a legislative seat in the Bahamas in next year's general election. Fox says his decision comes at a critical moment for the country, which is still navigating corruption cases, rising migration pressures, and long-term recovery from Hurricane Dorian. A quote says here, "You've shared that you want more transparency, a modern economy that prioritizes affordability and scrutiny, and a country where opportunity is our reality, not just a promise." He wrote. Now Rick Fox is he was born in Toronto to a Canadian mother and Bahamian father, and grew up in the Bahamas. He also in 2015 he co-founded Echo Fox and purchased a franchise spot in the North American League of Legends Championship Series, part of the world's highest profile esports circuit. He has since left the organization. He's also a three-time NBA champion with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, says here, for months, and this is a quote here, for months, I've been listening closely to the hopes and the frustration of my fellow Bahamians in truth, and the truth is clear. One truth is clear: the future of the Bahamas will depend on the choices we make right now. You've shared that you want more transparency, as well as I mentioned, modern economy that prioritizes affordability and security, in a country where opportunity is reality. I think this is interesting. I think this is quite interesting. I want to continue to follow this because Rick Fox has been under the radar for quite a while. Like he was an actor. I wouldn't say he's like a list actor a person, but he is a again successful former athlete. He's been in countless of films, TV projects, you name it. But he's been under the radar. So one thing I'm noticing, and we shared this on the last show, a lot of folks in the public eye, a lot of celebrities are starting to enter in the world of politics. A previous story I shared with you all was the ShamWow pitchman who announced he has filed his paperwork to run for Congress out in Texas. So you got ShamWow guy running for office. You got Rick Fox, former NBA star, turned actor and entrepreneur, running for office. It's pretty common now when you see celebrities run for office. Look, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the late Gary Coleman ran for office. Look, Donald Trump is president. Ronald Reagan was an actor before he was in office. I mean, there's so many individuals, celebrities that have said, okay, look, I want to take a leap of faith and run for office. They keep on bringing up the whole hey, I think Stephen A should run for president. I say absolutely not. And look, I'm a huge Stephen A fan. He don't need to be running for no office. No, not at all. And so that should not occur whatsoever. But hey, the Bahamas is a wonderful place. We have, my family and I, we have dear friends that are Bahamian residents. I've vacationed there a few times. I love the Bahamas. It was wonderful. And I think with Rick Fox public notoriety, I think even if he doesn't win, he definitely brings more attention to the issues happening in the Bahamas. But if he does win, hey, that will be quite interesting. That will be very interesting to see how he will navigate and do in the political space now, under in a new arena. As I mentioned before we end this conversation, before we end the segment, I also mentioned that Rick Fox was somebody that I did not hear from a while, right? He was under the radar. Now he's coming back into public eye, but running for office. A lot of folks also are using, politics as a comeback tool. The ShamWow guy, no one's heard from ShamWow guy since 2009. All of a sudden he's coming back out in the public running for office. Politics even made the My Pillow guy more famous, not in a good way, but it garnered a lot of people who knew of him a lot more than just being the My Pillow guy. So look, this could be a publicity stunt. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we will see how that goes for Rick Fox. Wish him the best of luck on that campaign. Look, I'll try and even reach out to his team to try and get an interview and bring him on the show. That would be great to have a conversation with him, to hear from him on those issues going on in the Bahamas. Last story before we head to our next commercial break, y'all, is the question I want to ask: should local elected officials get raises? Should they get pay increases? And I just think, just the way the climate is, I don't think anybody wants to hear a pay raise for any politician. Like, that's just like vomit, right? It's like, oh no, a pay raise for a politician? Absolutely not. Because look, we're in hard times right now. We just witnessed one of the longest government shutdowns ever witnessed in 40 days. I believe it was like a 41 days. And so folks are in a position where they don't know when their next paycheck will be. They don't know if they could afford their mortgages, their rent, snap, so many programs are being cut. I mean, it's just not a good time. Now, that being said, is it a good time to ask for a raise? Probably not. Whether you're in the corporate world or in public office, I don't think it's the right time to ask for raises. Now, I will say this. I personally do think that the elected officials deserves a raise. You're probably saying, Arrington, how could you? I am so appalled that you agree that these elected officials should receive a pay raise. Well, look, let me break it down for you. So, an old story we shared here on the show was school board members in the city of Norfolk. Their current salary, I believe, was around like it was around like $3,000 or $3,500 a year. That was their salary as a school board member. The chair was receiving maybe $4,000 a year, not a lot. They had asked for a 700% pay increase so they can at least match up closely with the council, what the council members do. Because look, local elected officials, I'm not saying one is better than the other, but they all contribute the same amount of hours, whether they're in city council or school board. So I'm like, hell yeah, they deserve more than $3,000. Yes, I get it. They're public servants. It's a volunteer position, but they were elected. It cost a lot of money for them to just run a campaign, and it's a very time consuming position. We're focused more on the fact that they want a pay increase, but you don't realize the commitment is a lot, especially for school board members. It is a lot. So at the end of the day, folks should be rewarded for the amount of work that they're putting in. And look, we're not talking about six figures here. We're talking about barely, not even a living wage. We're not even, like, council members now make about $25,000. Matter of fact, let me see if I can play. I got some sound bites I want to play for you all. So hold tight as I bring up those sound bites, and we'll talk on the other side.
You deserve a 70% pay increase? Are you out of your mind?
Virginia Beach City Council is on the verge of giving themselves a major pay raise that could go through tomorrow. It's going to be on the agenda for the formal session. And this ordinance, if passed, it would give city council members almost a $20,000 raise. Right now, they're currently paid $28,000. It would go up to $48,500 a year. As for the mayor's position, well, he's currently paid about $30,000. If this ordinance was passed, it would go up to $52,000 a year. Now, last Tuesday, several residents went before city council and say they did not agree with this, questioning the timing of this as we are just exiting the longest national government shutdown we have ever seen, and questioning where this money would come from and if it would be the tax dollars money. Now, some city council members are saying that they will not support the ordinance as it is currently listed, but we'll see what happens come Tuesday. I'm Emily Harrison, 13 News Now.
All right, so that was one soundbite there. So you heard the mayor in Virginia Beach alone makes around $30,000 a year. Okay, now Mayor Bobby Dyer, who I've interviewed before and met, nice guy. He's I think he's like a 2-term or a 3-term mayor. or it's just entered into his third term. He's a retired physical therapist. I think he's a retired physical therapist. And he has he long story short, he's retired, but he is working. I think he teaches courses at one of the local universities or something like that. So he has a little, he has a salary on the side. And I mentioned he's retired from one field. But at the end of the day, not all elected officials are millionaires as everybody assumes. They're not. Okay. Some of them are folks that are, worked in fields where they weren't making, six figures, right? And so they're still doing their other full-time jobs. A good friend of mine, Councilwoman Jennifer Rouse, she's also the wife of she serves on the Virginia Beach City Council. She's also the wife of State Senator Aaron Rouse, Virginia State Senator Aaron Rouse. Here's what she put on her Facebook. Let me read you this. Okay, good morning, VB. City Council pay has been $28,000 and mayor pay has been $30,000 since 2006. Okay, we're in 2025, about to be 2026. She said, now this was the day after they had all the constituents kind of share the frustration on the increase. She said, last night we deferred a vote to increase council salary to $48,500 and the mayor's pay to $52,000. She says, I want to clarify that the vote wasn't to give ourselves a raise, but it was a vote to increase the pay of the office based on cost of living adjustments. This wouldn't have gone into effect until 2027, and it would have been paid to whoever runs for office and wins their seats going forward. Now, because Virginia is a Dillon rule state, city councils can only do what they have been given authority to do by the General Assembly. Now, in 2024, the General Assembly expanded the salary cap for city council / mayors and allow localities to raise the cap through an ordinance. During the agenda review, I think our council had a productive discussion on the issue. Some points that I want to highlight. Okay, one, if city council had authority to factor the cost of living increases over time, the salary may have increased incrementally by $800 or so a year instead of $20,000 on the table today. Again, this increase is only on the table today because of the General Assembly raised the cap. Some of our Hampton Roads neighbors have voted to increase the pay for the office. Now, two, some pushback we've received on increasing the pay is the city council is a part-time role. This makes me wonder, why is it part-time? I want to dig into the origin story of the structuring Virginia Beach City Council as part-time service gig. I suspect it had to do with the size of Princess Anne County 60 years ago. But I wonder whether Virginia Beach today, one of the biggest cities in the Commonwealth, and it is the largest city population-wise. Let me just add that to that point. It's not just one of the biggest, it is the largest city population-wise. It is the most touristy city. You have the beach, you have the entertainment venues. Everything is in Virginia Beach. Everything is in Virginia Beach. Should still have a part-time council. Even in the district system, we meet year-round and engage in the work of governing outside of Tuesdays. Now, Tuesdays is when they always meet for council, but they don't just meet once a week. That's for everybody. They don't just meet once a week. They are working 24/7, whether if it's appearances, joining groups, conversations, town halls, you name it. They are everywhere. I know this person because I have a lot of friends that are elected officials on a local level. Okay. I know folks on a state level as well as a federal level. So I understand that the time is, and here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. There are and that's another conversation for another day, but there are local races that I've witnessed that ranges between 80,000. The highest I've seen is damn near $1 million on a local race. So you're telling me funds are raised, 300,000, 800,000 for a position of $30,000? Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. 3, when the role is structured as part-time, who is able to run for the office? Does that exclude some good candidates for running because they can't balance the work of the city and the work that pays their bills? 4, I'm curious how our national peers compare other cities about our size and with our demographics. How do they structure their city councils, part-time, full-time, salary? My interest in these questions are not to enrich myself. I, as my colleagues have mentioned, ran for office to serve, but as I have mentioned in previous posts, the call to public service can't only be answered by people who can afford to do it. It should be available to anyone who is willing. Amen to that, sister. She's mentioned that on the show last time. Councilwoman Rouse was discussing the voting system. They had 10-1 or 7-3-1. She says here, ultimately, I believe that the council and mayor position should receive a cost of living adjustment because the work is much more than part-time, and because I believe it will incentivize more people to run. I also recognize that there is a time for everything. I'm comfortable deferring the vote while we work to address some of these questions and more. I thought that was a great statement. I thought that was a great statement from Councilwoman, Virginia Beach City Councilwoman Jennifer Rouse. Now, here's one last clip I want to share with you all before we head to a commercial break. This is you're gonna hear a statement from the sitting mayor, Mayor Bobby Dyer, Mayor of Virginia Beach.
I would have been making would have been almost the equivalent of somebody coming out of the fire or police academy or a teacher. And I just didn't think that was appropriate. I think we did the right thing. And let's wait a while till the economy gets better for everybody.
Members who feel, quote unquote, they need more money should quit the council and find something else to do. For goodness sake, it is public service, not a career.
That is only some of the feedback Virginia Beach City Council received from residents on the proposal to increase salaries.
Just to hear that with your own ears, I'm voting to give myself a raise. Where does that happen? It's ridiculous.
The proposal would nearly double council member salaries with an increase from $28,000 to $48,500 a year. And for Mayor Bobby Dyer, his pay would move from $30,000 to nearly $52,000 a year. But today, Mayor Dyer says the people spoke and council listened and unanimously agreed to defer the vote on the pay increase indefinitely.
I think we did the right thing. And let's wait a while till the economy gets better for everybody.
Mayor Dyer says with the current state of the economy and lasting impacts from COVID, now would not be the right time to increase council salaries. However, Mayor Dyer says he was always against the increase, stating that as mayor, he knew what he was signing up for when he ran for office.
The money I would have been making would have been almost the equivalent of somebody coming out of the fire or police academy or a teacher. And I just didn't think that was appropriate for a part-time mayor.
In Virginia Beach, Brandon Fallon, 13 News Now.
I honestly, I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with what Mayor Bobby Dyer just said, because what he just did was what you call saving your ass. Okay, you say that hey, we listen, we deferred. I think he basically said, I think they're right. I knew the position I was taking when I first entered into politics that it wasn't going to be a high paying position. So no, they should not. We should not receive a raise. I totally basically saying I totally agree with what the people say. But here's my thing. And again, I mentioned that Bobby Dyer is a retired individual. Retired. He's getting a check. Okay. He also, I think he's either a part-time. He teaches some courses at a local university in the area, so he's getting a check. At the end of the day, not everybody has that same position. Not everybody comes from some form of wealth or has that form of stability. In order for, here's the thing, everybody cannot always be satisfied. And I'm a person that always cares more about the people than I do elected officials majority of the time. But in this case, I'm agreeing with the elected officials on receiving a pay raise. If you want to get work done, don't you think, especially if they get stuff done, don't you think they deserve some form of reward? Okay. And for folks, everybody say, well, look, we voted you back in. That means, we're happy of the work that you promised us during a campaign season. That's why we're going to keep voting you in. But here's the thing. If I'm for $28,000 a year and I'm busting my tail trying to make sure you have a better way of life, and they're not asking for six figures, they're literally asking for an increase of 20 grand. So if council right now makes 28,000, okay, that will bring them up to 48.5. If the mayor asks for a 20,000 increase, who currently makes $30,000 for a a 20,000 increase, that would make him at $52,000. Okay, and now imagine if being an elected official was their only position. Okay, folks are gonna be like, well, that's just too bad they signed up for it. Okay, well, guess what? How about you do it? How about you stay in their footsteps? Because see, a lot of folks do a lot of talking, but they don't know about the work. And I kind of sound like a little hypocritical, because I criticize elected officials time and time again, because if I see them not doing what they've promised, yes, I'm gonna talk about it. But if I see them doing the work that they're pushing for and saying, hey, look, I'm gonna need just a little something, because this is not a part-time. Local office is not part-time. Public office in general is not a part-time gig. It's a 24/7 job. Okay, it's a 24/7 job at the end of the day. Like it or love it, I get it. Politics is disgusting. I don't like it. I can't stand politics of some sorts. Right? It's not a sexy thing that a lot of folks enjoy to talk about or watch about or hear about, but it's everyday life, and it's a part of us. Okay, whether if I'm in the grocery store, whether if I'm getting gas, whether if I'm in the hospital or at a doctor's appointment, whether if I'm at work, it's a part of everyday life. Okay. And I'll be honest, and I'm not accusing any of these elected officials of this, but how many times have we heard elected officials getting being involved in like bribery this and bribery that? Right? It's unfair because they get involved in the greed aspect of things, and they ignore of the stance that they initially took while getting sworn in. But then there's some folks that are just saying, well, before I had this position, I was making 25,000, and then I'm making. I mean, you see why it's so easy for the rich and the corporations to bribe folks, right? Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse of why they should get a pay. Well, not to get a pay. I'm just bringing up things of issues that occur in politics, right? At the end of the day, I agree with City Councilwoman Rouse by saying not everybody that is involved in politics are folks that have money like that. Okay, they don't. So we're not asking for a lot. We're asking for crumbs. we're really asking for just a little bit more. He's right behind you. And sorry about that, y'all. That was my dog was about to run outside the door, being stubborn. But anyways, I I'm looking at my time because we're going to be running out of time very soon. But am I wrong to say local elected officials should receive a pay increase? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Or what's your thoughts? Please do me a favor. Share your thoughts on if local. Again, I'm saying local for a reason, because state officials are paid a much larger wage than local politics. Local elected officials. But yeah, let me know. What do you think? What do you think? I would love to probably gather some residents from the city of Virginia Beach, and maybe have a person that's on the side of why they shouldn't, and somebody that should be on the side of why they should. I would love to get them on to hear, because I could be missing something. I could honestly be missing something. I'm just giving you my honest opinion on this story, and yeah, the timing is bad, but when is the timing ever good to ask for a raise? I mean, seriously, when is the timing ever good to receive a raise in anything? So it's never going to be a better time to ask. But I do believe if they haven't not received a raise since 2006, or that they've been making the same amount since 2006, I don't think that means like, well, they signed up for it, so they just need to be doing. Look, I get it, but residents assume that all local elected officials have a red carpet and have all the money in the world. No, they're people just like you and me. Now, shame on those that act like they're celebrities, because they're not. They're public servants. But I'll ask this. I'll say this real quick, and then we'll end it off very shortly. If you had a servant, would you ever want to give your servant an increase in pay, or and I hate using that word, a servant, but public servants, they're here to serve the people. We the people are the employer. Okay. They have their salaries through our tax paying dollars. So that's another reason why folks is probably frustrated on asking for that increase. But there hasn't been any saying if that will increase their taxes if they receive a increase in their salary. So that was not shared in these two stories that I just two different moments. No one has said if they will raise city taxes, because now if they've raised taxes in order to receive these raises, then I kind of understand a little bit more of the frustration from residents. But in addition to that, I do think that there's at some point you should be fair, be reasonable here, y'all. Let's just be honest. Local politics is larger than federal politics, because what happens on a federal level trickles down to a state level, trickles down to a local level. So local is the most important. Local government is the most important thing in our current political climate. It is. It really is. School board members, commissioner of revenues, clerks, city treasurers, city managers, you name it. And look, a lot of those positions too, real quick, city commissioner of revenue, city manager, city treasurer, they have salary. They make good. It's a full-time position for them. It's not part-time at all. But we'll talk about it more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, I run out of time because I had a few more stories I wanted to share, but we're going to share it on the next show. As always, my friends, thank you so much for sticking with us here on the Arrington Gavin Show, and be sure to continue to support the Arrington Gavin Show. Fridays, all digital streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram, the whole 9 yards. I'll talk with y'all soon. Peace and blessings, y'all. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.